welcome to the Valley Gardens 2012 BBC School News Report with me, Alex, and soon, after her report, Lucy. Later on in the show, Lucy will be taking us with the mock trial team to the Magistrates' Court to give us a new insight on the Magistrates' competition. But first, tonight, after a successful school ski trip from Valley Gardens, a macabre affair was reported for St Lambertus School in Belgium as a coach crash in a Swiss tunnel kills dozens. And students compete in a mock trial competition at the Magistrates' Court. But later tonight, a new all-weather pitch is revealed at Valley Gardens Middle School, and we will be taking a special report on the run-up to the Olympics, and as always there will be the sports, entertainment and weather desks. Now over to Lucy and Charlotte at the Magistrates' Court.
Yeah, thanks Alex. Today we are here live outside North Shields Magistrates' Court. And we're going to be here taking part in the competition and telling you what the kids are going to do today.
On the 10th of March, many different students from schools in the North East came together at North Shields Magistrates' Court to take part in a mock trial.
Good afternoon. Hello, we are here today with the co-organiser of the mock trial for Valley Gardens Middle School, Mr Hope, and we're going to ask him some questions and find out some info about what a mock trial really is. Right, Mr Hope, is this the first time you've ever helped out to organise a mock trial competition?
Yeah, this was the first year that I've ever done this competition. Mr Royce, who's organised it in the past, asked me if I would help out this year, and it was a really, really good experience and I really enjoyed it, so I was glad that I did.
And what really is a mock trial?
The mock trial basically is set up by the Magistrates' Court to demonstrate how a legal proceeding would go, and they try to make it as realistic as possible without making it too complicated. So it's an opportunity for children to go along and play the different parts of a trial, for instance lawyers, witnesses, prosecution and defence, and just get a real feel for how the justice system in England works.
So you believe this is a good opportunity for a child to take part in?
I think it's an excellent opportunity. It teaches you a lot of good skills, it teaches you to communicate, it teaches you to be confident, it gets you to see how the court and the justice system in England works today, and all the people who went along on Saturday seem to have a really good time and get a lot out of it, so I felt it was a really good experience for everybody involved.
And do you think that this sort of experience builds up children's confidence?
I think it is a good confidence builder because I mean a lot of the children that were going on the mock trial already are quite confident speakers in public. A lot of them act and do other things, and but it does help for them to do something like that because they get to see how it would be in an adult situation, and they have to stand up in front of people and talk and really sell their case. So I did think it was a good one, and I think the people who've been on it will feel more confident about public speaking and doing that kind of thing in the future.
When you were at school, did you ever have an opportunity like this?
I was never involved in a mock trial, but I did do public speaking and other competitions like that, and I really enjoyed doing those. So the nearest thing that I could see to that at this place was the mock trial. So I never had the same opportunity to go and do a proper mock trial. I would have loved to have done that when I was at school, but I thought that was a really good experience to do as an adult as well.
Thank you, Mr Hope.
Thank you.
You've been watching Charlotte and Lucy outside North Shields Magistrates' Court. Back to you in the studio. We've got a competition to win.
Hi Lucy.
Hi Alex.
And now, the rest of our news with Lucy.
A very shocking and distressing report on how parents feel about their young children going on ski trips after a dreadful coach crash in the Swiss Alps. We will now be hearing from parents of the pupils of Valley Gardens who recently sent their children on a trip to Alpe d'Huez. Now over to Jenny and Emily, reporting on the disaster in Switzerland.
22 children, 6 adults from a Belgian school were tragically killed yesterday on their coach journey home after skiing in the Alps. 24 children have been admitted to hospital, 3 in a coma. The bus was said to have crashed into a wall in a tunnel in Switzerland. The bus driver was also killed. The suspected cause of this was the bus driver having a heart attack at the wheel. This is still yet to be confirmed. Our school went on a skiing trip, but luckily we were okay.
45 teachers and pupils from Valley Gardens Middle have been skiing in the Central Alps resort Alpe d'Huez in France, just 2 weeks after the horrific bus accident involving pupils of the same age, and they arrived back just 4 days before another terrible crash involving Belgian children and adults in Switzerland.
Before the group left, we interviewed Teresa and Fiona, parents of children going on the ski venture. How do you feel about your daughter going on a coach trip in France just 2 weeks after the accident?
Not too worried. I'm sure that there are thousands of coach journeys every week taken throughout Europe that we don't hear about because nothing goes wrong, they're totally safe. Obviously the coach crash was terrible, but you have to stay positive, and I think usually when there is an accident like this, I think coach drivers are probably even more careful than usual, so I'm quite happy that she's gone.
Will you miss your sister when she's skiing?
No.
Do you feel that they're old enough to look after themselves and their belongings when they're away?
Yes, mostly, I think so. I think they are pretty responsible and as they're getting older, but I do think their rooms are going to be an absolute pigsty, so I don't think they'll be responsible in that sense. But certainly looking after their own money and looking after their things, I've got no worries. And with that regard, they're all pretty sensible, I think.
Thank you, Fiona. That is all for this interview.
So we're now on film. Right here. See that? Please. Zoom in.
Thank you to our ski venture team. Now, Valley Gardens has been the receiver of a brand new all-weather pitch. Our special correspondents were down there at the building site, watching the builders and doing interviews with Mrs. Tate and Mr. Smith. Over to you guys.
Hello, we are now standing outside Valley Gardens Middle School,
where the permission has been granted for an all-weather pitch to be built.
This all-weather pitch, currently under construction, was started in late January and is hoped to be completed in mid-April.
It will be available to the local community in the hopes of creating a facility youngsters won't have to travel far to use, and to promote a healthy lifestyle.
We interviewed 2 adults who have had particular influence in this project.
This is Mrs. Tate, the business manager for Valley Gardens Middle School.
Do you think it will be an advantage on the local community, the all-weather pitch that's being built at the moment?
I certainly do. I think it'll be a great asset to the community. It will enable lots of users within the community for varied amount of sports, whether it be football, hockey, rugby training. It'll bring the community together and it will be a fantastic asset to the area.
Do you think the all-weather pitch will be used on weekends and after school?
It most certainly will. I think the demand for the all-weather pitch will be great. It's expected to be open up until 9:30 at night and maybe all day weekend, Saturday and Sunday.
Would it be able to be hired and what would the cost be?
It will be hired to the local community and local football teams and hockey teams, rugby teams. It will be hired to anybody that's available. The pricing structure will be in line with the local authorities and there will be subsidy for East Cod holders within North Tyneside.
And will it be ready for use in all weather all year round?
It will be ready for use in all-weather pitch, as the name says. The only time it will be out of use if we have quite deep snow.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Hi!
This is Mr. Smith, who we will be interviewing about the all-weather pitch.
Good afternoon, Mr. Smith.
Good afternoon. Hi, girls.
We're here to talk to you about the all-weather pitch that is being created. How do you think this will affect the pupils' education?
I think it's a boom. It's absolutely fantastic. You got me on? Cool. No, we are blessed with a number of facilities within the school, that having an all-weather pitch would enhance the curriculum and provide lots of opportunities for us to do activities outside the curriculum time, and also provide opportunities for local groups to use the pitch.
Will you use the all-weather pitch for every opportunity?
Would I? Yes. It's an artificial grass pitch, so in most weathers it should be okay.
Thank you. Back to Alex and Lucy at the studio.
Thanks, guys. Next up, the run-up to the Olympics, the most exciting event in the global calendar, to be held at London this year. Over to our correspondents to give us an insight of how the North East is preparing for it.
Hello, today we are doing a report on the Olympics, focusing on the global rainbow at Whitley Bay Lighthouse. These are the Olympic lights in action. We interviewed people about the Olympic lights and the Olympics.
So girls, did you see the Olympic lights?
Yes, I did, and I thought they were really good because they're the same colours as the Olympic rings.
Do you think it was a good way of celebrating the Olympics?
Yes, I thought it was a very good way because everybody sees the lights and it brings everybody together, reminding everybody about the Olympics.
This is Robin, who will be interviewing about the Olympic lights down at Whitley Bay this past week. Hi Robin. So, what did you think of the Olympic lights?
I thought the lights were very good.
And do you think it's a good way to have celebrated the Olympics?
Well, it certainly got a lot of people interested locally. There was big traffic jams of people queuing to see it.
Do you think people will be more interested in watching the Olympics now they've seen those lights?
I would think probably so. It was good publicity.
So overall, you think it was a good event?
Absolutely, yes.
Thank you.
Wow. Did anybody witness the lights down on the bay?
I did.
Did you think they were a good way to celebrate the Olympics?
Yes, really good because we went on for miles and we were really bright.
Okay, thank you girls.
Hello, I'm Kirsten reporting for the Valley Gardens Middle School BBC School Report, and I'm here with Emily at the NGI offices in Gateshead. So Emily, I understand that you are a marketing consultant for the London 2012 Games in Newcastle in the North East. Can you please explain a bit about your role in the upcoming Olympic events?
Yes, of course. Well, the London 2012 Games is mainly happening in London, but it has got some sports happening in other parts of the country. So Newcastle's very lucky in that it's one of only 9 places outside London where you can see Olympic sport. And as well as the sport, there's also the torch relay, which is going around the whole of the country. So that's coming through the whole of the region, from the very north, the Scottish border, right down to the south, going off into Yorkshire. There's a huge celebration of the Olympics through culture, which is called the Cultural Olympiad. And again, we've got a lot of events going on up here in the region. So it's my job to promote all of those things and make sure people in the North East know about them and know what's going on, and so on.
Mm-hmm. How are the Games going to affect the businesses in and around the Tyneside area?
Well, putting on the Olympics is a really huge operation, and you've probably seen pictures of the Olympic Park in London, which has been a huge building site for years, so they've had to build a lot of things from scratch. And actually putting on the Olympics, there's a lot of business involved with that, so they need a lot of things just to put the games on. So right down to things like they need to make little teddy bears to sell in as mascots in the shop and so on.
After the spectacular Olympic ring-coloured laser display in Whitley Bay, can we be expecting any more celebrations and events in our area?
Yes, we definitely can. That event, which was called Global Rainbow, was the launch event for the Cultural Olympiad in the North East.
Is there anything else you'd like to add about the London 2012 Olympic Games that will be affecting our viewers?
Well, I think it is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for people to enjoy the Olympic Games in their own country. The last time it was in the UK was in 1948, so it's not likely to be back in England or the UK again while we're alive anyway. So with so much going on in the North East and particularly in Newcastle, I think it's a really good opportunity for the region to enjoy such a spectacular show.
Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
That's all from us. Now over to the sports desk.
Hello and welcome welcome to the VGMS Sports Desk with me, Charlotte, and me, Kirsten. As you can see around us today, this is a small amount of trophies that VGMS have won, and today we're going to update you with the sport that's happening in our school and also that's happening in the UK. Now, before that, we're going to start with the cricket news. England will look for a good workout when they prepare for the 2 Test series against Sri Lanka, with a practice match against Colombo today. The 3-day match will be followed by a 2-day match starting on the 20th of March to the 22nd of March, before the first test in Galway on March 26th. The second test will also be in Colombo on April 3rd. Come on, England! Woo! Now the boxing. Derek Chisora's boxing licence has been removed by the BBBFC, the British Boxing Board of Control, for his actions before and after his defeat by Vitaly Klitschko in Munich. Now onto the VGMS news, where we'll be taking some of Mr. Royce's squad of Year 6 under-11s footballers.
Hello, I'm here with the Year 6 under-11s 2 members of the football team for Vallygons Middle School. So boys, do you enjoy football?
Yeah, it's great.
And would you say that you all get along in this football team?
Yeah, but there are occasions where we have some arguments.
Why?
Just people making quite bad mistakes, but we always make up.
Oh, that's good. And how are you feeling about getting to the national finals?
Really happy because we've played 3 really hard ones already, and they're quite hard to get to, so it's quite an achievement to make Watford.
And who would you say is your hardest competition?
Well, they've all been tournaments, but the hardest game we probably had was probably Champion.
And why was this?
Because they made us have a second leg.
Oh, thank you. Back to the studio.
Bye.
That looked fun, Charlotte. I can tell you it was. Now, my friend Kirsten here is going to be reporting on the dance in VGMS.
Dance at Valley Gardens Middle School is a popular sport, as you can see by all the photos I'm surrounded by. Kids in the school from any age can take part in dance activities after school at least once a week. There are dance clubs on most nights, and they are attended by very many children, from boys and girls. There are lots of different styles done at school, including ballet, jazz, tap, disco and street. Dance is a group where they do a lot of these styles, and they will be doing a show. I'm sure a lot more of our groups will be doing a show, and I'm sure loads of people will be supporting these children in their events. Dance is just as serious as any of the sports, like football as we've just seen. Kids in our school would like to make dance as big a sport as football, with it having its own team. Thank you. Back to the studio.
Thank you from us here at the Sports Desk. We'll leave you with the Barclays Premier League table. Over to entertainment.
Thanks, Charlotte and Kirsten. Hello, welcome to the entertainment news with me, Beth,
me, Emily, and me, Katie.
Our main entertainment story today is the X Factor Tour and auditions. The X Factor auditions came to Newcastle's Metro Radio Arena on Saturday to kick off the search for the next big superstar. Also, next week is the X Factor Tour from last year's contestants, which include 2 of our fellow Geordies, Jaden Perry from Winning Girl Band Little Mix, Marcus Collins, Amelia Lilly, and many more amazing acts will be there too. Next up is the JLS Tour. Over to you, Katie.
Thanks, Beth. It's the moment everyone has been waiting for, JLS's Hot 2012 tour. The JLS boys revealed a couple of weeks ago that their tour is going to be like The Matrix combined with David Blaine. They kicked off their tour at Liverpool and surprised everyone with their armour-like outfits. It has been reported that they have a very strict gym routine every day, lasting up to 6 to 8 hours. They have also been put on a strict diet which didn't go down too well with some of the lads, especially Orishay. Over to Emily for a final story.
Thanks, Katie. Whilst on their tour of Big Time Rush, Harry Styles was caught behaving badly. It's not the first time Harry has been in trouble in the US. He and his fellow bandmate Louis got themselves in a spot of bother at a bowling alley, throwing 2 to 3 balls down the alley at a time. That's it for the entertainment with me, Emily, Katie and Beth. Now over to Annabelle and Neve for the weather.
Hi, and welcome to the weather with me, Annabelle.
And me, Neve.
In the northeast, it is dry and bright with some sun and some cloud. There's a gentle wind coming in from the west, and it's a temperature of around 15 degrees Celsius.
Tomorrow, in the northeast, there will be some cloud with a minimum temperature of 4 degrees and a maximum of 13.
Now for the weekend forecast. On Saturday, it will be cloudy with sunny spells.
And on Sunday, get out those umbrellas as there's going to be rain.
But at least today is going to be a great day in Newcastle.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Ellie.
And I'm Emma.
And we are here to discuss the latest news on Strictly Come Dancing. Strictly Professionals, James Jordan, Orla Jordan, Christina and many more are prepared to be sacked from the show due to the team of new producers who are taking over BBC One on Saturday night. The Strictly Professionals say that they are gutted as they've been doing the show for many years.
There will also be a change on the judging panel as Alicia Dixon has resigned and gone over to Britain's Got Talent. But thankfully, good old Bruce will be returning, for we love his jokes and the joyful vibe he brings to the show. We hope everything gets sorted out, and we hope everyone enjoys the new series.
Thanks. Now for a cheerful story about a girl and a dog.
Alida Noblot has a new leash of life thanks to her four-legged friend, Mr. Gibbs.
The crossbreed poodle retriever carries the oxygen supply Alida needs.
Alida was just 8 months old when she was diagnosed with a life-threatening condition which affects her lungs.
Alida's nurse, Debbie, aged 39, said Mr. Gibbs makes difference to Alida's life and her condition is improving by the day.
Thank you for listening.
Time to get out those shorts and shades.
I do hope so.
Good night.
Good night.
From Lucy,
Alex, and everybody at Valley Gardens Middle School. See you later. Bye.